two issues this morning, inshallah, that were brought up in reference to the Aqama time for Salat al-Fajr. The first issue is, both issues center around the believing that the Aqama is too early. The first issue connected to that is, are we even praying on time? Are we praying on time? And the answer is yes. There is something called Al-Fajr al-Kathib and Al-Fajr al-Sadiq. The false Fajr and the true Fajr. So the false Fajr is where you will see light early in the morning, which is before the true Fajr, but it extends into the sky. It's a light that extends into the sky, like upwards. All right. Now the true Fajr, it doesn't extend that way. It extends across the horizon. It's a light that you'll see. It extends across the horizon. One of the other differences is with the true Fajr is not only does it extend across the horizon, once it extends, then it goes up. As it's extending the light, you'll start to see the light getting more intense and more intense, going up into the sky from the horizon. And so when I asked you to look out the window, I'm even pretty sure if you look out right now, you'll be able to see that there is slightly some light in the sky, right? That means this is an extension. This light that we're seeing is an extension of the true Fajr that started at the time that we call the Adhan. Because at the time of the Adhan of the true Fajr is where you'll start to see is a thin, very, very thin line of light that will go across the horizon. And you'll be able to distinguish that light from the rest of the sky, which is black, which is why Allah Ta'ala says eat and drink until you can distinguish between the white thread and the black thread. So once you see that light that goes across the horizon, it'll be like a white piece of thread, right, really skinny, then it starts to extend more and more and more. So inshallah ta'ala, hopefully that will answer our question as relates to the Salat al-Fajr al-Sadiq. Now myself, there's all these different calendars, different madhahib that they say, oh, this degree, that degree, this calculation, that calculation. When I was in Florida, it was a big controversy because two masjids in the same city, their Fajr adhans were 20 minutes apart. And so everybody in the city was accusing our masjid of we're still eating and drinking, 20 minutes too late. So we took a group of brothers out to the Atlantic Ocean, where we took all the calendars with all the timings, and we sat there at the Atlantic Ocean, right there on the beach, and we sat and we waited. We got there very early so that we can be there in enough time to determine what we saw in the sky at the time that the calendar said we were supposed to see something. And what we found was that the ISNA calendar was absolutely it was almost to the second. Like literally, it was like to the second. I took pictures as evidence to show how close the calculation was of the calendar, of the ISNA calendar, as it relates to what we actually saw in the sky. Inshallah ta'ala, for that reason, I've always used the ISNA calendar as a means, as a basis. And I also plan, since being here in New Jersey, 3 or 4 times in a year, take some brothers out to the ocean, just so that we can make sure that we are our times are correct, especially before Ramadan. just to verify that what we have on our calendar is which is actually what will actually be happening in the sky, inshallah ta'ala. So so this is hopefully will remove any doubts as it relates to are we praying on time. The second issue is that people have said that there's not a lot of time between the actual event and the Aqama, which doesn't leave with time for those who are fasting. The issue of that is the community, because of our schedules, it requires us to have set times as much as possible. People have work schedules, some people working in New York, people have different things that they have going on, and if we don't set an actual Iqama time, it's going to cause problems for the community. Now, we try to keep the Salat time at a set time for as long as possible, so that every day we're not changing the Iqama time, or every 2 days we're changing the Iqama time, which then that becomes confusing to people. They show up and say, oh, we thought the Aqama was at 5:30. They say, no, it's at 5:40 today. They changed it. And then they change it. And so we try to keep the Aqama time and only change it in a consistent manner so as not to confuse the community. Now, when we do that, that means that for the Fajr time especially, on the first few days that the time is changed, that's going to be a shorter time period between the adhan and the iqama. And as time progresses, then the time between the adhan and the iqama is going to increase to the point where when it's time to change the time again, people are going to say, hey, we need to change the time because it's too much time between the adhan and the iqama. Then we change the time again, and then we're just going to find that there's going to be a short period of time between the adhan and the iqama, and then as time progresses, then that time is going to increase. And this is, and the only reason why it's like this as an attempt to standardize the iqama times to make it easier for the community. As I know that if we were to just say, all right, well, we're just going to change the iqama times every day, it's going to be difficult for 500 people. And 500 people in the community. It may be easy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's going to be difficult for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have to be considerate of everyone. So let us be patient to the best of our abilities as we're trying to do our best to accommodate everyone and make things as easy as possible on everybody. If someone has suggestions on how we can accomplish what we're trying to accomplish in a more effective way, in a more efficient manner, we're always open to listen to suggestions and take those suggestions into consideration. But for now, this is what we have, and as I said, we're trying to do the best that we can with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me and to forgive the leadership if we've made any person uncomfortable or we have caused any disturbance. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you all for your patience and your understanding. Jazakumullah khairan.